Yo, what's going on, guys? So today in this video, I'm gonna be talking about Seth freaking Rollins, and more specifically, a subject that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, since since pretty much Seth Rollins' supposed heel turn in like April of this year. Because here's the thing, there's been there's been a lot of people who have been saying like, oh, Seth Rollins, he's a heel now, and he's the villain. You gotta boo him. He sucks. Whatever. Treating Seth Rollins like he's your typical heel. Whatever. But in this video, I'm pretty much just gonna be explaining why Seth Rollins is not the heel, because he's actually not a heel. He is a little bit more than that. So I'm gonna be explaining all of that in this video. I actually filmed this video. Well, not this specific video, but like I filmed the subject of this video like a month ago, and then it got like the audio was like all messed up from my AirPods, but I'm not using my AirPods right now, so hopefully the audio doesn't sound like shit. Hopefully it sounds good, but I don't know, man. Hopefully I can actually upload this video, because I haven't done a screen recording video in so long, and I want to get back to this. I really want to like film these kind of videos, just like kind of giving my opinion on WWE, because this is something that I've loved even more for these past couple of months, over the past couple of, this year. Since last year, I've fallen in love with WWE even more. But obviously, I'm not really loving the product recently, but that's neither here or there. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And I'm just going to be uploading more of these kinds of videos, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to be talking about Seth Rollins and why he's not the heel. Seth Rollins, here's the thing. Do I like his faction? Do I think his faction is good? No, I don't. I think it's pointless. I think it's garbage. I think it's there's no need for Seth Rollins to even win the Money in the Bank. And obviously, like, you have the whole stuff now where it's like, okay, like, you got Braun Breaker, he's being established as a new star and whatnot, but then they're also saying Seth Rollins is a new star, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like, Seth Rollins, he's done it all at this point. He's had all the championships, he's had all the great matches, he's had all the great feuds and storylines. I feel like trying to be like, oh, Seth Rollins is a new star, it just makes no sense. So I don't like this faction. But Seth Rollins, as far as like who his character is right now, to say he's a heel is just not true, because here's the thing. Seth Rollins is actually a tweener. He's an anti-hero, because the only things he's done wrong really is like what he's aligned with himself with heels, like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and he's dissed the crowd a couple of times, but that's really the only heelish things he's done throughout since his so-called heel turn. But like overall, like all the stuff he's said and done, and like his motivations for why he started this faction is actually all valid and makes sense, because like he's talking about how Roman Reigns, we can't let part-timers like him who just who are corrupt and terrible people control this place, and we can't let people like CM Punk, who left the company and then leave when times get tough and then come back after dissing the company and only coming back for money. We can't have people like him at the top leading this company either. So Seth Rollins, his reasoning for why he created this faction and why he wants all the power to be on top actually makes sense. And all the stuff he's saying about Roman and Punk is true, because like if you really look at it, who they are as from their characters, Roman Reigns is not a good person. Like people say that he's a face or whatever. He's not a face. Like, come on. He is not a face. Roman Reigns is still the egotistical narcissist he's always been. Like, you can literally still see it within his character, how he still acts. Like, he still tries to, like, you guys remember when he came back last year, and like he was facing like Solo Sikoa's faction, and as Paul Heyman said, what did Roman Reigns come back to do? Did he come back to avenge Paul Heyman, or did he come back to just get his Ulafala back? Paul Heyman said he came back just to get his Ulafala back, which is true. Roman Reigns didn't even okay, you want to make the argument that maybe Roman Reigns didn't come back immediately to save Paul Heyman because he was he was just living his own life, trying to enjoy himself after he lost the title to Cody last year. Fine, whatever. But how come when he came back, he didn't even try to apologize to any of his family members for how he treated them? He didn't even try to apologize to all the wrestlers he's mistreated throughout all the years. He didn't try to apologize to Paul Heyman and avenge Paul Heyman whenever he was put through the table last year. No, instead Roman Reigns came back for his own selfish reasons, which was to get the Ulafala back. So to say that Roman Reigns is a face just makes no sense. And Roman Reigns never apologized to any of his family members. Like, even he didn't even want to, because like he never even wanted Jey Uso's help. He didn't want him to be on his side. He didn't want Sami Zayn's help. He didn't want him to be on his side. He was like talking trash to them, talking down on them. Even when Jey Uso was trying to be cool with them, he was like, yo, like, as long as you don't talk down on me, we can work together. And Roman Reigns was just like, he had this face of like, I don't care what you have to say. Like, and like he was just, before the OG bloodline got back together, like Roman Reigns was just talking down on Sami and Jey Uso the whole time. Like he was still acting like he did nothing wrong, and then all of a sudden, he basically realized like, oh, I'm not gonna apologize to them, but I'm just gonna decide to accept their help because they can help me get the Ulafala back. And that's exactly what he did. He just used his family to get the Ulafala back. Like, people try to make it seem like, oh, he cared about them. Is Roman Reigns, he's not necessarily like consistently, like verbally and physically abusive as he used to be. He's not physically abusive anymore towards his family and, like Sami Zayn and all that. And, he's not necessarily like as verbally consistently abusive towards his family or Sami Zayn, but still, he does not care about them either way. Like, he only wanted them to get the Ulafala back. He was basically just using them. And so, and then you look at CM Punk. This is a guy that, left the company for years and years. He trashed the company and was trashing Seth Rollins and, was basically saying he would never come back. Screw this company. Then he gets fired from AEW. He comes back to WWE. And what does CM Punk say? I came back not to make friends, but to make money. So for people who keep saying, like, like, what babyface says stuff like that? What, like, what face would ever say something like that? Like, let's just be real here. Like, I'm not saying Roman Reigns, like, to me, Roman Reigns is like 99. Like, Roman Reigns is an anti-hero, but he's like 99% leaning more towards heel side of things, right? And he's like 1% babyface. Like, the only face thing about Roman currently is just him showing love to the crowd, and that's really it. But overall, Roman Reigns is still the same person. And as far as like CM Punk goes, like, he's not fully heel either, but like he's mostly on that heelish side because like this dude came back only for the money. He said it himself. CM Punk said it himself. And then he comes back, doesn't apologize to anyone. Like, he doesn't apologize to Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre for how he treated them back in the days. He makes it seem like they're the bad guys for hating him still, even though all the crap he talked about them for years, and the way he even like treated Drew McIntyre back then. Like, people make it seem like Drew McIntyre targeted CM Punk for no reason when he came back to the WWE. But no, Drew McIntyre literally said it himself. I targeted CM Punk. I was talking trash about him, and I was glad he got injured because this guy was someone who, tried to like bully me when I was younger, and he was like, and he would like, he affected my career when I was younger as well, and you know, he affected my momentum and all that. So like, Drew McIntyre, he wasn't like just like wanting CM Punk to get hurt and like wanting, like he wasn't just talking trash about him for no reason. Like Drew McIntyre had good reasons for that. CM Punk was a terrible person to Drew McIntyre back in the days too, which obviously I know that kind of plays into real life as well, because Drew McIntyre said it himself in like multiple interviews that he doesn't like CM Punk. But that's not my point though. My point is that CM Punk, he doesn't apologize to anyone when he comes back to WWE. He doesn't, like, at least not Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre. He doesn't apologize to them. He only comes back for money as well, and he tries to make the whole spotlight about him. It's all about his ego, narcissism, and all that. And so, how exactly is CM Punk really a face? I'm not going to say he's a full-on heel, but he does lean more towards that side as far as, like, being on the tweener spectrum of things. He does lean more towards heel side. And so, Seth Rollins is not necessarily wrong about what he's saying towards Roman Reigns and CM Punk. So, therefore, Seth Rollins isn't really a heel, because what has he really done wrong? What has he really done wrong? What has he really said wrong? What has he really done wrong? Like, yeah, okay, he teamed with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, who were heels, and he dissed the crowd a couple of times. But he's also shown love to the crowd still. If you haven't, like, for people who haven't paid attention or who have forgotten, like, Seth Rollins has also shown love to the crowd multiple times as well, even though he's a supposed heel, So it's like, and so to me, it's not really about whether, like, to me, Seth Rollins is not a full-on heel. Like, does he have some heelish things about him? Sure. But I feel like, to me, Seth Rollins is still the same person. He's still the same baby face he's always been for, 3 years now? Since late 2022, when he turned face. He's still the same person, to me. He doesn't really come off as a heel, which is why, people talk about, oh, no one booed Seth Rollins, no one's hating on him. Well, yeah, because he's the same person. And a lot of the stuff he's saying is actually true. That's why no one's really booing him, or no one's really, treating him like a villain, because he's not really saying or doing anything wrong, besides maybe a couple of things, He's still the same person. And not to mention, he also still has that catchy theme song as well. So that's also another thing. But Seth Rollins, to me, he's not a heel. He's not. He isn't a heel. He's just not. And Drew McIntyre isn't a heel either to me. He's like a tweener as well, who's more on the good side. Because a lot of the stuff Drew McIntyre says and does actually it makes sense and is valid and is justified. And so, yeah, like, sure, Drew McIntyre, he's had his moments where he's attacked baby faces out of anger or out of, like, just being competitive, or, just, like, there's been times where Drew McIntyre, he said things to baby faces that are not okay, right? And there's been times where he's attacked referees just for trying to do their job, and he's, like, Drew McIntyre, obviously he's not, he has some heelish things about him. He definitely has some heel stuff about him. But to say he's a full-on heel, it doesn't make sense, because he's not a full-on heel. Drew McIntyre, he's a tweener. He's an anti-hero, just like Seth Rollins, just like Kevin Owens. A lot of the stuff Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins have said about CM Punk and